Hi everyone! I thought I'd come by here and answer a few questions about our digital kits and how to get the best prints possible at home. There's a lot of ways you can optimize the way they look once you print them, whether it's your printer or the printer settings or the paper that you use. So the number one question I'm getting is, what type of printer do you use? So the printer that I'm using is a Kyocera P8060 CDN, and it's actually a professional printer, so it costs several thousands of dollars. It's a laser printer, and if you have a business and you need to do a lot of high quality printing for cards or for notes or for digital prints, stickers and things like that, I highly recommend it. However, I'm really conscious that this is not something that you would get for yourself at home. It's a really big printer. It also uses a lot of space. So here are a few other options that I recommend for printing at home. I highly recommend an inkjet printer and not a laser printer, because an inkjet printer will really give you much better colors and higher quality images when you print. It's going to be a little more expensive in ink than a laser printer, but the quality will be much better. A few that I can recommend that I've used before are the Canon Pixma. One of the latest one is the G620, and that's a really good printer. Epson EcoTank, which is also a really good printer with high quality imagery, and that one is $199 on Amazon. I really wouldn't spend less than $150 on a printer. I think it's an investment that you need to make to have some good imagery. Obviously, if you can't afford that, you can also go to a print shop, give them your files, and they will print it for you on one of their professional printers. So that's another option. The second question I'm getting asked a lot is about the paper. There are lots of papers that you can use to print the digitals on, depending on your preferences. If you print on a higher quality, thicker material, you will get nicer prints, but it will be harder to cut if it's too thick. So what I recommend is a bit of an in-between. So it's a copy paper, but not the cheapest of the copy papers. I would choose a 90 GSM paper, and I'll also put a link of a few papers that I recommend. So that will be like an actual copy paper that you can put in any printer, but it's just a little thicker, a little higher quality. You can also print on sticker paper at home if your printer allows you to do that. That's really cool, because then once you cut, you can just peel off and it will be like a sticker. So that's totally possible. You can print on vellum paper. It all just depends a little bit on what your printer can handle. The third thing I recommend is to play around the settings of your printer driver. I would not recommend printing from the Windows or the regular printer driver that might open when you click print on an image. I would really recommend you using the printer driver that you install when you install your printer, because those will have a lot more settings that you can play around with in regards to the color sharpness, the color contrasts, anything related to colors you'll be able to adjust in your printer settings. Then something really cool too that you can adjust in printer settings is the page margins. So I always print with a very, very tiny margin so that the design will occupy the maximum amount of space on my page, and I won't have huge white borders, so that I have like a bigger design. So that's something you can adjust with the page margins, as well as the fit. Make sure that when you print, you shrink to fit instead of fill the page, so that the edges don't get cut. If you click on fill page, it will fill the page to the maximum, but it might cut the edges. Printer settings, you'll also be able to print smaller sizes. So for example, if you want to have this printed on only half a page because you like a smaller format, you'll be able to do that on your printer settings. For example, here by selecting multiple pages and then selecting two, and you'll have two of the pages that fit on a single page, and so your page will be half the size. So that's really useful if you have smaller journals or you really want to do something smaller than the regular format. So that's it for now. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to try to answer them for you and give you more recommendations. In the meantime, I hope this was useful, and thank you so much for watching.